Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, ladies and gentlemen, starring one of my faves, Michael Keaton. Scored huge last weekend with $110 million in the box office, which is actually the second biggest September debut of all time. And
what was it first?
Here's my problem with Beetlejuice 2. All right?
Yeah, let's hear it. Okay, so I watched it. You watched it. You did not watch it.
Okay.
No.
Very sad. That
Jeffrey Jones has no head in it, but he's not really in it.
Right.
But they still use his picture in it.
Uh-huh.
So they do have to pay him, and then they still make all these references to Jeffrey Jones, which is really creepy because he's a pedo.
Yeah.
And then it really bothered me.
It set me off too. I was like, okay, are we going into this? Because I didn't know he was dead. His character's dead. They got to get him out of the movie some way.
Right.
But they kind of show reverence to the character anyways.
He's not dead.
But yeah. I was like, this is a little weird.
But then even the guy, I forget the guy who's a little bit bigger in the first one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of his name.
Otho.
Yeah. But the actor, they don't refer to him at all.
That's true.
So it's like, so they don't mention him, but then you're just going to kind of have this like tip of the hat.
Well, it's like the sea lines. That was my problem with the movie, is that it's got too many storylines going on. There's like 15 different storylines going on when I'm like, can we focus on one of them? Was like the mom and her boyfriend, and well, no, it was the mom and his character that died.
Well, it's
and
there's the daughter element.
There's Lydia and the
boyfriend.
And then there's Lydia's daughter meeting a boyfriend.
Right.
And then there's the Beetlejuice thing and his ex-wife going on. And I was like, what? Can we focus on it? Because the first movie, I watched the first movie the day before. The first movie is like tight. It's just about the couple that have this house. They pass away. They want to get the deets out of their house.
I don't know they're dead, actually.
Well, yeah. But it's very like a forward-facing movie. It just like goes through the plot.
Yeah,
pretty focused. And this one was just all over the place.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I liked it. I thought he was really good in it. I thought Catherine O'Hara was really good in it because she always is.
Yes.
Winona Ryder's Winona Ryder. I enjoy her, but she was I think she was playing the old Winona Ryder a little too much.
It was a completely different
she
character.
never matured out of like some of her teen angstiness.
Right.
I feel like she was more mature as Lydia when she was a kid than she was when she was an adult.
Yeah, because she was so dark and gothy in the '88 one.
Yeah, nobody stays like that into their 40s.
No,
they like
Not
digress
or reverts 2 years.
Yeah, it was just like her whole character was weird.
Yeah, so there was a lot of storyline to keep following it. The Soul Train thing I thought was cute, but I was also like, who's this for?
I heard okay, so I watched a video on it, and apparently he was getting trashed, and like a cancel culture thing happened to him when a movie came out and he didn't have any black people in it. So they made all these articles and were saying like Tim Burton's new movie doesn't have any black people. And then he was asked about it at one of
Charlie
these
in the
festivals.
Chocolate Factory.
Well, it's not that one because there's a black guy in that.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a bunch of little black guys.
Is that after he falls
They're
in the
brown.
river?
But then he commented on it and said, I don't have to put any black people in a movie if I don't want to. They made a whole thing out of it.
Tim Burton
I
said
think I think the Soul Train was like his like I'm
Oh.
gonna put a whole joke in this entire movie. It's only all dead black people and they're dancing away like the 70s.
I was going to say, there was plenty of black people.
There was a lot of them.
movie.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem
They only
forced.
danced. They only danced.
Well, except for the host, who came out and was like, all aboard the Soul Train.
Oh, that's true.
And I mean, it's nothing that I feel like we're ruining, because the second you hear Soul Train, you know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
You're like, I thought for a minute, I was like, are they going to go this route? And then
They did.
second they did, and my son's like, is that Michael Jackson? And I'm like, no, but he's dressed like Michael Jackson at the time, because he had like the Thriller dude
Yeah,
kind of. I thought overall it was good, though. I love Michael Keaton. Like, the guy's in his 70s. People are doing side-by-sides.
Yeah.
But it's like, he's not really a dead ghost that's hundreds of years old.
Right.
He's Michael Keaton. And I'd say he moved around pretty well for a dude in his 70s. And then
Yes.
I thought Willem Dafoe was good.
Willem Dafoe was fine. That was another side storyline that was like complicating, and all of the
That he was a
storylines,
detective from
which was funny. It's a funny idea, and I like the idea of having
Purgatory,
that,
I guess.
but it just was like extra, and then it gets wrapped up super fast. Like every single story, including the mainline story, gets wrapped up randomly, which is fine because it's a Beetlejuice movie. It could be like weird because like the original, the whole wedding at the end was kind of thrown in
up
and got wrapped up really quick.
First one.
But
Actually, if you think about it.
yeah, like this one was like you had. I try not to be spoiler, but like most of the storylines get wrapped up super fast and like unsatisfyingly.
Well, because if you think about it, it was the same. He wants to marry her. That was the whole Beetlejuice concept from the beginning.
Yeah.
So that through line's still there. But then he has an ex-wife, which has never been introduced.
Mm-hmm. She was mentioned.
That's fun.
Yeah.
She was mentioned.
Yeah.
In the original.
But never been introduced.
Right.
And then you have, so I mean, it was...
But she's like stomping around in every one of her scenes was, except for the first scene where she shows up and she like puts herself back together.
Like that she was a soul sucker. Just completely inappropriate.
I like the visual like idea of like the soul sucking. How did that work? And it sucked up their souls and they like left the husk on the ground. Like there's fun ideas, but it just got too distracted. I feel like there was like a lot of ideas for the last 35 years when they're like, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this, and then they tried to like put it into a movie and it didn't.
But I liked how it was Tim Burton and what I like about Tim Burton, where it was dark and creepy at points, the way that I liked his original directing. Like it looked like a real Tim Burton movie.
Yeah, like, I will say that, yes.
Even when he's in like the purgatory waiting room. You know, like you have the guys with the shrunken heads and everything, but like the one, it's just Santa who's been burnt alive in a chimney, and he's like, Merry Christmas, and he's like,
all those little jokes, the visual jokes in the background.
Where, people have just been killed in these different ways and are waiting in line to just...
Yeah, the guy in the sleeping bag that has a snake in it.
Yeah. So I thought it looked like a real Tim Burton film, which I liked because I've missed that about him. Overall, I enjoyed it. I would watch it, but it does get complicated at points. Yeah. But for the last several movies I've seen, especially sequels, I thought it was good.
That's a good point. As a cash grab sequel to an old property that you love, it could have been way worse. It could have been way, way worse.